We are recording.
Hello! Hello!
Hello and welcome to the second WB show. We made it past the first one, huh?
We did. We lost a guy already.
Yeah, that is unfortunate. So my name is Shane, this is Josh, and Mike.
Mike.
He is, he's
not allowed back.
Yeah, he's not with us anymore.
Omar ain't with us no more.
I'd like to say this episode is brought to you by WB Communications, your local AT&T authorized retailer. So, a lot to talk about. Let's just dive right in. I'm going to start it off with Apple stuff again. Sorry, I'm an Apple fan. This month marks the second anniversary of Steve Jobs' passing. So, cool guy. People have a lot of opinions about him. First, New York Times had an awesome article about Steve Jobs and the first iPhone. I think we posted it up on the Facebook page earlier this week. If you haven't seen it, check it out. It's super interesting. Josh, tell us a little bit about this article.
What jumped out to me originally was the fact that the iPhone almost didn't work. And he wanted to go on with this keynote event that they always put on, and he was so confident in the fact that it would work. I think they said that they had different iPhones staged throughout the stage so that in case the one failed. And
it seemed like it was like a 50-50 shot. This might not work.
Well, and the signal thing, they said the phone wasn't getting signal. I believe in the article they said that they had like a small AT&T tower in there to try and power it. It still wasn't working.
What they do, they coded the software to always read 5 bars.
5 bars.
Because they knew at some point it was going to drop signal and they didn't want the audience to see
Exactly. So a really interesting read. The iPhone wasn't as successful as it is today. Obviously, we all know that it has been successful, but a very awesome article. Lots of sleepless nights for a lot of those people. They said they were working 50, 60 hours a week for 2 straight years on that project. Yeah,
can't imagine. What was I going to say? I can't remember.
Train of thought derailed.
Yeah, sorry.
That's right. More along the lines of that New York Times article. Totally worth a read. Probably take you 15, 20 minutes. Pretty cool stuff. The thing about Steve Jobs and Apple in general is they have this aura around them of we only let certain people in. We do the coolest stuff here. We do the best stuff here.
Like perfection.
Exactly. I know this wasn't on our schedule, but even the new building they're getting ready to, I think they got that approved, correct?
Yeah.
It was approved,
their new spaceship.
Yeah.
If you haven't seen this thing, Google it. Apple Campus 2 or something.
Yeah.
It's a giant ring. It looks like it could take off and go into outer space.
It's pretty cool. And Apple's just always trying to be a little bit different than everybody else. Their products are very good. They take what other people do, and they seem to just do it a little bit better sometimes. So, in terms of Steve Jobs, obviously he brought something that was... We had a little technical difficulty. I don't know if... can I press it? What Steve Jobs did in terms of not only the iPhone, but computers, tablets, everything like that. Again, there's this aura still around him even 2 years after his death.
Yeah, I remember what I was going to say. If you've never watched the unveiling of the iPhone, the very first iPhone, 2007, January, I think, it is worth a watch. You don't have to watch the whole keynote. It's like an hour long or whatever. Steve Jobs unveiling the iPhone for the first time, it's about 15 minutes long. It'll give you goosebumps. It's just, the face goes crazy. And in hindsight, that's the phone that changed everything.
Yep, you're right. You're right.
So we kind of did this last time with the new iPhones. This might be a little bit trickier, but Steve Jobs. Describe Steve Jobs in one word.
I had a few words that I wanted to use.
That's all right.
I said, maybe pioneer, but I don't know if pioneer is really the word in terms of, again, He wasn't doing something that nobody else was doing. He
Right.
just did it better than everybody else.
Right.
Then I want to say innovator, but again, they did things, they just did them better than what everybody else was doing. And then I don't know if legend is the right word to use here, and here's why. How many people, no matter who they are, 2 years after they've died, have an anniversary?
Right. Not a lot.
Not a lot.
Christopher Columbus. That's about it.
Exactly. Columbus Day was this week.
Right.
Okay. I see what you did there. But legend, I mean, I don't want to use that in a term of Barney Stinson, the legend. But in terms of someone who paved the way for the rest of the market for what it is now, Steve Jobs.
Steve Jobs, paver of ways. That's 3 words.
That is.
Sorry. My Steve Jobs description in 1 word. I know you can't possibly sum up this guy in 1 word. However, everything I've ever read about him, I don't know, have you read the book, Steve Jobs' biography?
I have not.
I read it, and I've read a lot about him in the past. 1 word that jumps to mind is relentless. Like you were saying, 50, 60, 70-hour work weeks he's putting these people through. I just know it sounds like he was a real bear to work for. But after you finished the thing you were working on, you were so grateful he pushed you.
Exactly.
I've heard of tons of times people would bring him something, like a prototype, and he'd be like, "It's all right, go make it better." So, and that's part of what makes Apple Apple. It's just this never-ending iteration of improvement. So.
The thing with Apple, constantly, I know we talk about Apple a lot, but they're really kind of the mold to go by. A lot of people want to be like Apple.
Right.
Not necessarily in the way that they make their products, but the way that they run their business.
Right.
The way that they are precise with their products. Apple can release something new with not necessarily a lot of new things in it and make it seem like a big deal. Their presentation, just the way they conduct business. Everything Apple does is news, no matter what it is. Whether it's building a new station, whether it's putting Wi-Fi on the bus for the people to go, it doesn't matter what it is. And a lot of companies want to mold their company after that because it gets such a good following from consumers.
Yeah. Just one other little Apple tidbit. CNN thinks they tracked down the original voice of Siri. So this lady, her name is Susan Bennett. She's a professional voice actress. Did you watch this video? Did you read this?
Yeah, I actually watched it earlier in the week before you sent it to me.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah.
We posted that on Facebook. We will if we didn't. It's worth a watch. I don't know. Is she?
Yeah.
She doesn't even know.
Yeah. She said that she did voiceovers for Apple for a full 30 days at 4 hours a day for all of that. She said it's very strange if it is her voice,
Yeah.
to hear it on the iPhone.
Yeah.
Because she does all sorts of things like working in airports, saying that when the flights are boarding.
When she says that, I've only been in an airport maybe a couple times ever, but I'm like, yeah, that sounds like...
It probably does, yeah. Or in movies, when you hear it in movies, yeah, that's probably about right.
Yeah.
So, what else was it she did? She did something else.
Oh my goodness.
Put you on the spot.
Yeah. It's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, it wasn't... Oh, she was the voice for the first ATM.
That's right.
The
Like
First
the
Bank,
80s.
for First Bank or something like that. She was the voice for that ATM. So, she said it's very strange to hear her own voice on the iPhone, but pretty cool at the same time, which I imagine it would be.
Yeah. So moving on to some good Microsoft news. Amber update that came out since the last time we saw you guys. Hallelujah. And hot on the heels of the Amber update, they're already talking about the GDR3 update. Now, I know that doesn't mean much to you maybe, but there's some cool stuff. It's only out for developers right now, I think. I don't think your average Joe can get it. What's all in this thing?
Well, first off, I believe that Microsoft has said that they were planning on rolling out updates faster than Android and iOS.
And I think at this point they have to, don't they?
Yeah,
Just to try to catch
exactly.
up.
I carry a Windows Phone, as you know. I enjoy it. There's just a few things that I wish were a little bit different.
Right.
Your casual, everyday person may not notice it, but I do.
Right.
And things that, man, I just wish they'd tweak it just a little bit. And a lot of the forums I read and things like that say, come on, Microsoft, let's push these updates out a little more so we can get you caught up with what the other two operating systems, three operating systems are doing.
Once a year is just not going to cut it.
No, not for Microsoft.
Not when you're that far behind.
Exactly. And it's not that they're lacking in technology. I mean, they have a good product. Their phone's sharp. Nice displays, great cameras in them.
Oh, yeah.
The problem is they're a couple years behind. They didn't get into the game as fast as Android and app or iOS
Right.
did.
So it's constant catch up.
Exactly, and a lot of people believe that they're almost there. Besides the marketplace, that's a whole separate issue, which whatever it is what it is.
Yeah.
But in terms of specs, processors, the Windows Phone is sharp, very smooth, awesome transitions. Again, so with this new update, the GDR3 update that they're pushing, on certain phones, there's rumors of a Lumia 1520.
Okay, this is the big
This is the 6-inch screen phone.
It's a giant.
Exactly. And if you look at the leaked photos of it, it shows 3 different tiles.
Oh, okay.
It'll
columns,
fit 3 columns. Yeah,
And
columns.
That's new.
Whereas right now it only fits 2.
Right.
Well, on some of these bigger screens, it's going to go ahead and let you fit 3. It'll let you fit 3 large icons as opposed to 2.
So basically, support for higher resolution screens. They
1080p
can put
display
more on
screen.
there.
Yep,
That makes
that's
sense.
exactly what they're doing. They're also the update is also for the processor, the Snapdragon processor that's in these. The update's also for that. There was updates to the camera. A lot of it's little software updates. And again, it's not that they're lacking in specs.
No.
Because in terms of specs, I mean, they're as good as a lot of these other phones.
Yeah, all the pieces are there.
And I want them to be very successful. I tweet at them constantly, hey, why don't we fix this?
You get a couple of
And
replies.
hey, I've gotten quite a few. Now, not the ones I want to hear, but they replied to me, you know what I mean?
No, Josh, you don't get a free phone.
But the marketplace as of now is what's holding them back.
Yeah.
And you've said this before. Why aren't they just throwing this to developers to update this marketplace? Because if they had the same apps, it would be so much easier to pick it up and be like, all right, this isn't bad. Oh, it's pretty sharp. Oh, I get all the apps that I get on all these other phones and a 41 megapixel camera. Come on. Exactly. So as most of these, the blog writers, you know, people like me, I don't use Snapchat and Facebook and that kind of stuff. But your average consumer does.
Yeah.
And that marketplace doesn't support that kind of stuff. And that's what's holding Microsoft back a little bit.
There's definitely some key apps missing right now.
Sure.
I know everybody's crazy about Instagram.
Sure.
In the
And it
official
doesn't have
versions, it's
Instagram.
just not there.
No, and you know the rest of it, Xbox Music, $10 a month, unlimited music downloads. That's sharp.
Yeah.
You know, this phone right now is $50 on a 2-year agreement, and you know you get 32 gigs of space, an awesome camera, and everything. It's just missing just a little bit. But again, I can go on and on. It will come in time. Windows is just a little bit behind the other 2 operating systems.
Yep. And the only thing that's going to fix that is faster updates.
Yeah.
You got to outpace the other guys.
Exactly. And as of now, they are. It's just that's what they promised, and that's what we've got to see. Hopefully, this update doesn't take as long to come out as we waited for the Amber update.
Right. So I know this happened a few weeks ago, before our first show, I think, but Microsoft bought Nokia.
Yes.
The wireless section, the part most people know of them. So Nokia is a company in Finland, I think, and they're pretty popular over there, overseas. You know, here, Nokia used to be on, top of the world. That was back in the flip phone era.
Exactly.
And maybe some texting phones. The whole smartphone wave comes around, they kind of lose sight. They partner with Microsoft. Some things start to take off. Is this a big deal?
I hope. Again, I'm rooting for it. I want it to work. I really enjoy my phone. 90% of the time, I love it.
Yeah.
There's a 10% time where I tell you, man, I just want to throw this thing, and it's not because of the actual phone. There's just little things missing. Right. Sometimes it just really has trouble loading some pictures, like if I'm viewing Twitter or something that these other phones don't. The whole YouTube thing just drives me nuts.
Yeah, so I don't know if you guys know this, but Google and Microsoft just button heads right now. And I think it's partly because each one views the other as a threat. Google and Google Docs is kind of creeping in on Microsoft and Office. That's their big moneymaker. Yep. And so definitely competitors, and they're just not playing nice right now. And who's suffering? Josh. Josh is suffering.
I tell you almost every day, man, there's just some YouTube stuff that just drives me nuts, and I spend a lot of time on YouTube. I love to watch YouTube videos, but obviously YouTube is a Google product. It is now because they bought it out. Yeah. But there's just no official YouTube app. And
right, Microsoft went so far as to make their own, but it quickly got denied and shut down by Google.
And you know what? Some of the apps aren't bad. It's better going through the browser. That's right. What YouTube's telling them to do. Hey, go through the browser. Are you kidding me? In this day and age, I can't get an app on my phone for YouTube. Right. Just go through the browser. But I cannot send a YouTube video to someone through some of these other apps. It's telling me I got to install another app in order to do that. Right. I don't want to do any of that. I just want an official YouTube app that I would pay for it.
Yeah.
I would pay for that. Someone like me, I use that enough that sure,
it's worth it.
Totally. But just frustrating.
I don't know if it really is a big deal. Think about it. I mean, who's making all the Windows phones?
Nokia.
And there's some HTC and a Samsung out there, but they're already so buddy. I don't know what they get out of it. If just bringing them in-house, they can collaborate that much more. I don't know.
Are they looking to do maybe their own apps that they're not available on these other markets, or I don't know. Like I said, hopefully it's a good thing. There's just a few that need to be universal to everybody. Again, I really enjoy the phone. The 925, it's an awesome phone. Well, it's smaller, lighter. It's only $100. Right. Thin. Again, they make sharp phones. I really enjoy them. It's really easy to carry in your pocket. You're not carrying a huge Android screen in your pocket, you know what I mean? And you're not carrying, a tiny iPhone either. You get a nice balance of each, and they come in cool colors. You can get them in blue and red and black and yellow. And
yeah, that's something that drew me in with Windows Phone is you pull that phone out of your pocket and you got a boom, bright yellow phone next to everyone's black and white boring phones. Yep. So that's cool. That's fun. One other Microsoft rumor right now. So the guys at WindowsPhoneCentral.com picked up on this rumor that HTC might be working on a dual booting Android and Windows phone. How crazy is that? I mean, that just doesn't happen right now.
No.
Not easily. Not without jailbreaking your phone or whatever.
Exactly. Why?
Is it because we all know that Nokia just dominates the Windows space? I think maybe HTC doesn't want to get out of the Windows game, but they feel Android might be more profitable for them right now. Is this a way for them to keep one foot in each door?
Yeah, the HTC 8X Windows phone, it's not terrible.
No,
it feels great in your hand. It's slim, it's light, but it's only got 8 gigs of space. Right. For you and I, that's gone.
No way.
No, yeah, you can't even do that. For most people, they can't do that. Most of the people, most consumers, take a ton of pictures, and man, you run out of space quick on that, on 8 gigs. I would never suggest an 8 gig phone. That doesn't take an SD card.
There you go.
But, like a Nexus or something. But, again, they made a solid phone. It beats audio in it. I just don't see what the purpose of that is. I don't see what your end goal is.
It's interesting, nonetheless.
True. Yeah. It's always interesting to hear new stuff.
Yeah, right. Okay. All right, so I'm just gonna say it. BlackBerry. Ooh, got shivers. It's not going awesome. We're not gonna count them out as much as people like to, but things aren't good. So much so that, there's one of their CEOs, I think, had to put out a letter recently to everybody saying, hey guys, don't give up on us.
Yeah.
You can say a lot about what they did wrong or what they need to do now. Obviously, the iPhone caught them off guard. Probably Microsoft too a little bit, and they just kind of stuck their head in the mud and waited a little bit too long. Besides that, what do you think? Where do you think they messed up, or what can they do real quick to just turn this thing around?
Well, like we talked about it with the Windows Phone, the App Store. First off, there's less things on the App Store for BlackBerry than there is on a Windows Phone.
Yeah,
that just kills
it's bad
consumers. And I think the reason people liked BlackBerry so much in the beginning was they thought they were really secure. Their email worked great. They got signal everywhere.
Yeah, those keyboards.
The keyboards. And then everybody else caught up to them. Yeah. So now an iPhone is just as secure as that BlackBerry was, if not more. You know what I mean? And if you're not using Yahoo, your Gmail and your Hotmail are fine, even on on Android phones and Windows phones and things like that. So I think that I don't know if they ever thought they would get caught the way they did or what happened with them. They just didn't put anything real innovative out for a while. That Z10 probably should have been out 1.5 or 2 years ago. It's a sharp-looking phone. It's really light. It's got an awesome screen, but there's no features on it that any other phone doesn't have. There's nothing on there. You know what sets this thing apart? It has Windows 8. That's different. It has, SkyDrive, and it has some different features that no other phone has. What does BlackBerry have that any other phone doesn't? There's nothing. And it's frustrating for them, for consumers, because there's people that there were a ton of BlackBerries out there. People loved them. They wanted to stay with them. But they went, why should I get a Z10 and pay $200 when I can get an iPhone 5 for $200? And it does the same exact thing and more, a lot more.
Right. I guess what they maybe should have done is maybe 4 years ago now, realized that, hey, these other guys, their software's got us beat. Let's use that to our advantage. Android is super open and customizable. Every manufacturer puts their own spin on Android. So BlackBerry, let's make an Android phone. Everybody loves your hardware. Everybody loves Android. Let's port BlackBerry Messenger over and call it a day.
Yep.
I think that probably would have been pretty hot.
Oh, yeah.
It would have at least helped keep them afloat.
You could have kept some physical keyboards around if
Right.
people wanted. A lot of people like those, especially people who have never had anything else. They were really hesitant to give up on those physical keyboards. Someone like me, I got big hands. I didn't ever want the physical keyboard. I didn't do so well on it. But I also, most of those customers have had smartphones longer than I have, and were used to that. So, that could have helped them out, stay afloat, and actually done okay if they would have just realized that a little sooner.
On the flip side, let's make a fun Android phone, and let's make a serious corporate Windows phone. Because Windows, Microsoft, Office, all that is in every Office PC around the world.
Yeah.
Let's partner with that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, what did I pull up? My dad sent me a Word document today in my email, and I pulled it up, and right there on my phone, right in a Word document. It was sweet. It worked well.
Windows is the only phone that has Microsoft Office built in.
Yeah, works great. Works awesome. So if BlackBerry could have done something like that, I think they'd be in a little better shape than they are now.
And it's hard to say you messed up, to admit defeat.
And hindsight's always 20/20.
Sure.
They understand what happened now, and it's too late to go back and fix it. At first, they probably thought it's a phase. People aren't going to want that. It's fine. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
They do.
Yeah. Should be in every BlackBerry article title.
And it's not I don't want to knock them. They're still a big company.
Right.
I want them to do well. I like it when there's many choices.
Hey, the more competition on the wall, the better it is for you.
Exactly. You have more choices. I tell people this all the time. When people come in and say, "What phone should I get?" I'm like, "Whoa, pick one that you like. That you like the size, the color, the way it feels in your hand, in your pocket, and I'll tell you cool stuff about it." If someone picks up BlackBerry, I tell them, "Hey, that's a big screen, good camera, BlackBerry Messenger. It's got a notifications tab. There's cool stuff about every phone out there." So if someone comes in and says, "Hey, what's the best phone?" I'm going to say, "You know what? If I could carry each one for a month, I would. I can't, but I wish I could." Because I like things about each and every one of them. Some of them have better cameras. Some of them I just like the way it fits in my hand. That BlackBerry Z10, it feels awesome.
It's nice.
It's really slick.
Yeah.
But I can't even listen to a podcast on it without going to the browser. It can't play Pandora. There's no YouTube app.
I mean, no Pandora. That's game over.
Yeah, exactly. So, for someone like me, it doesn't work. But for somebody they're like, "Hey, all I want to do is call, text, and send emails." Boom. BlackBerry's perfect for you. And hey, maybe do Facebook. It gets all your notifications right there in the BlackBerry hub.
All right. Moving on to Android. The next version of the operating system has been announced. Now, if you don't know, Google and Android like to use dessert names to name their operating system. So, far back I can think is Cupcake. I think they started this.
Cupcake.
I'm blanking on D.
It was
Dairy
Dairy or something like that. Then Eclair.
Froyo. Gingerbread. Honeycomb was just for tablets. Most recently, the most popular probably is Ice Cream Sandwich. That's 4.0. And then Jelly Bean, that's the newest one right now. So, we're at K. Now, a lot of signs pointing to, I'm pretty sure we saw this in writing more than once, key lime pie. I mean, it just made sense. I don't know of a whole lot of K desserts, but key lime pie. I love key lime pie.
It is delicious. Yeah. Shout out to the Kurgans for bringing us key lime pie that one time. That was awesome. If you happen to watch this, we love key lime pie.
Yeah. However, key lime pie is not the name of the new version.
They changed it.
What is it?
KitKat.
KitKat. I didn't believe it when I saw it.
We talked about this, and we thought it was going to be key lime pie forever.
Oh, yeah.
Until I was reading, and I went, "Whoa, like this is really happening?"
He says KitKat. I'm like, no.
Yeah,
that ain't right.
No. And I immediately said to you, what did I say? I said, why in the world would Google go out and want to brand that and pay money for that?
Copyrights,
all
exactly.
That stuff? And your rebuttal was,
I thought maybe it was the other way around. Maybe KitKat realized, hey, Google's on K. Maybe we'll reach out to them and brand awareness, free advertising. Yep. Who knows? Maybe we'll find out in the future what really happened.
Well, I think you're on the right track there because right now, I think KitKat's giving away a free Android phone.
Yeah,
you can win an Android phone, kind of like any other contest. And it kind of makes sense. Why? Because, and now maybe Google's going, oh, well, we can maybe brand these other letters by...
They might be holding silent auctions.
Exactly.
For
they may be.
brands.
Instead of just being generic, and why not make a little money off of it?
Yeah. Which have you seen the every update they put out? The little Android guy. So on their campus they have these 3-foot tall androids made out of whatever dessert, and so there's a giant KitKat android. Looks yummy.
Yeah.
I take a bite out of it.
I saw. Did you see that picture of the Android KitKat man?
Uh-uh.
Yeah, they made they made an Android
Okay.
guy out of and made him a KitKat bar.
Mm.
That I don't know if it was photoshopped or if you can actually get one of those.
Right.
I don't know.
I'll take one.
Yeah.
So that brings up a good point. Next is L. What do you think is going to be the name of the next one?
I don't know if they stay with the branding. I'm not real sure. If they go generic, maybe Lollipop.
Oh,
was that yours?
no, that's way better than mine. I was thinking, okay, we did key lime pie. Let's get back to it. Lemon meringue.
Lemon meringue.
But lollipop, that just rolls off the tongue.
Lollipop.
I like that. I'd bet money on lollipop. Unless
they went with the branding again, then what would we have?
Who we got?
I don't know what we have in terms of candy. Like a dessert. I'm blanking.
Lollipop it is!
We need to move on down the line. I can think of some other. Sara Lee.
Yeah. Man. Chocolate chip cookie, they missed out on that. Oh well. I think lollipop. Other little Android tidbits. I saw a free software update came out for the Moto X a couple weeks ago. Improved the camera. I think it made it a little bit faster, and you've got some more options to kind of tweak the picture. Even better touchless controls. Guys, if you haven't tried this, it's awesome. If that was my Moto X sitting right there, I could just say, okay, Google now, play Reliant K, and it starts playing music. That's big. I know it doesn't seem like much, rather than grabbing your phone, activating the voice or whatever, and then saying it, but more often than not, your hands are full, or they're dirty, or your phone's over there.
Or, as of January, you can't use it in your car.
Yeah.
Whereas, if it's plugged in,
right,
and it's connected to your Bluetooth in your ear, okay, Google now, what time do the Rams play today? Or what time do the Cardinals play? Or what was the score of a game from last night? Boom, tells you right there in your earpiece, or right there on your car, whatever it's connected to.
Yeah, that's killer.
Without ever touching your phone.
Right. So better touchless controls, and somehow they improved the voice quality in a phone call. I don't know how they did that, but sweet.
Yeah.
That is a free over-the-air update. You don't have to plug into anything, your computer.
Which you should
whatever.
never have to do anymore.
Yeah, anymore. With any big software update, whether it's Apple, Windows, whatever, we always recommend having at least 50% battery and get on some good Wi-Fi. None of that sketchy stuff. I can't tell you how many times we've had people come in, the Wi-Fi dropped in the middle of a software update, and my phone doesn't work. It's sad. We don't like seeing that.
Yep.
So take precaution.
If you have trouble getting Wi-Fi signal somewhere, McDonald's, IGA, a ton of places around here. Most of these restaurants have free Wi-Fi. Go in and get a meal and sit down and do your 30-minute software update.
So our last topic to kind of bounce off of last week's show, smartwatches and stuff. Lo and behold, AT&T's working on a little something, and it's for your little one, for your kid. A smartwatch for your kid. It's called Philip, F-I-L-I-P. I really like this.
Yep.
It makes sense. I can see why it's useful. That's something maybe the other smartwatches are lacking.
They're built more for people who are using their phones every day and that kind of thing.
Half of it's just it's fun and just to for techies. They're just always looking for the next thing. This has real practical use. This is something you give your little kid, and multiple uses. You can set check-ins, so if they're not at home at 4 o'clock, if that watch isn't in that location, you're going to get a notification on your phone. I believe you can set up like a proximity, like, oh, that watch is more than 100 feet away. Hey, something's up. What else? It's got a mic and speaker on it, so you can actually call your kid and they can dial out to just a couple, like predetermined contacts. So mom and dad or grandma or something like that. And I believe you can read text messages on the screen. So if I send my kid a text, they can at least see, hey, be home at 5. I think that's cool. I think it's going to be pretty popular. We don't know a lot right now. It just got announced a couple weeks ago. We don't know price. We don't know like what sort of monthly plan it's going to have, but it's exciting.
Oh, exactly. And I saw that you really enjoyed it because you have a little one.
Yeah.
And you thought, how practical is that? When we were younger, how many times did we wander off from mom in the shopping mall or something? Just a little bit, and all of a sudden, mom turns around because she was looking at something. Oh, we're gone. There's a little bit of panic.
Yeah.
Okay. We don't have to worry about that as much. Hey, if it's 100 feet, okay, she's within this 100 feet. We just got separated. Where you at? Like, practical is a great word for it. Hopefully the price isn't too bad on it because I think that they would be very popular.
Comes in fun colors, I think 4 or 5 colors.
Exactly.
This is something, I've been thinking about it because I have a 1.5-year-old. Obviously, doesn't need a phone right now. Doesn't need one for a while. But when does she need a phone? What's and what kind of phone? Because I could, she could get just a basic flip phone to make calls for emergencies, but a smartphone has so much more functionality there.
Yep.
This seems like a perfect starter.
Yep. She can still contact you.
Yeah.
You can contact her. It's a cool color. Kids are going to probably wear a watch anyway.
Yeah.
They're less likely to lose a watch than they are a phone. You don't take your phone out of your pocket. You can still do everything with the watch on it.
It's probably
swim.
waterproof.
It probably is. It just makes a lot of sense, and I hope they do it well. I hope it's not some choppy thing to get them into the smartwatch craze. I hope they do it well because I think it could be a really good product.
Well, guys, I think that's it. Thanks for watching. We're trying to work on the audio version too, maybe.
Sure.
So thanks for listening.
Yeah.
Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube page and like us on Facebook. That's facebook.com/WB Communications. And if you enjoy Josh and I, we are on Twitter.
We are on Twitter.
You could
on
tweet
Twitter.
us on Twitter. I said Twitter, I think.
You
I
did.
don't know why.
You did.
What's this Twitter thing? I am at Shane Lothar.
I'm Big Yosh, YOSH 23.
Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.